up. All right, Troy, I need you up here now. Troy is going to be a critical, vital part of this model. Troy's going to be out here just to the left of Michelle. Represent Troy with another box. Are we doing all right, Kristen? You're okay? Okay. Troy represents behavior. Behavior. You might even add the word action. Now we start to behave, okay? All right, let's go back and bring us up to where we are. We have a belief on our belief window that says all Doberman pinschers are vicious. If that's true, then we come into somebody's yard, there's a big black dog. What's Troy going to do? He'll somehow protect himself. He'll run. Have you ever seen a young person walk into somebody's house, see a dog, and go nuts? Why? What's on that kid's belief window that makes that kid go crazy? All dogs are vicious, maybe. Okay? All right, let's take a couple more examples. Suppose you have on your belief window that your self-worth is dependent on your possessions. What need is driving that, do you suppose? Maybe to feel important. All right, you have a second belief on your belief window that European possessions are better. Okay, so I've got two beliefs on my belief window. My self-worth is dependent on my possessions, and European possessions are better. If that's true, then I get over here to Michelle, and I start setting up rules for behavior. If that's true, then, and it's now time for me to buy a car, what's Troy going to buy? BMW. Okay? Anything but a VW. All right, he's going to buy a European car. Why? Because the principles on his belief window are driving that. Okay, let's take another example. Suppose you have on your belief window that all teachers are mean. Somewhere you got it on your belief window, all teachers are mean. What need do you suppose is driving that? To live? It could be a combination of several, could it not? Maybe to be important, maybe to be loved. Okay? If that's true then, and I start setting up my rules for behavior, and I go to a new school, how am I going to interact with my teachers? I'll close down. Now understand a very important fact at this point. If you observe someone's behavior for a while and see a pattern of behavior develop, what can you predict here at Rex? Can you tell what's on the belief window? Yes. If you know what's on someone's belief window, what can you predict about out here? Can you predict their behavior with some accuracy? Yes, you can. Michelle is to be represented in your notes as another box. Notice I didn't say square, Michelle. Box. And with another little tiny arrow pointing this way on the model, okay? Because the principles on our belief window now start to drive what Michelle represents. Would you label the box that Michelle represents rules? Rules. And then right underneath or inside the box, write the words if, then. If, then. We call these the if-then rules. Now here's how it works. We have the needs, it drives these principles. Let's say we have the principle on our belief window that all Doberman pinschers are vicious. Now we start setting up specific rules for behavior. In other words, it goes like this. If that is a correct principle then, and I walk into somebody's yard and see a big black Doberman pinscher, what am I going to do? Okay, I will run. I'll leap tall buildings. I'll get away. Okay? Now, what need is driving that? To live. All right, so these are the if-then rules. These are specific rules of behavior that we start to set up. Let me give you a fun example. This fellow came into the kitchen one Sunday afternoon. His wife was preparing dinner, pulled out of the oven a big, beautiful ham. The ends had been cut off the ham. He said, "Why did you cut the ends off the ham? Makes it taste better." "How do you know that?" "My mother told me that." So on her belief window, you cut the ends off to make the ham taste better. The behavior was cutting off the ham. They were at the mother-in-law's house for dinner the following Sunday. He approached his wife's mother and said, "I understand you cut the ends off your ham." "I do." "Why do you do that?" "Makes it taste better." "How do you know that?" "My mother told me that." 2 generations now, the belief is cut the ends off the ham makes it taste better. The grandmother was still alive. He went over and picked up the phone. This guy was bugged. Called the grandmother. "Do you cut the ends off your ham?" "Yes, I do." "Why do you do that?" "Won't fit in my oven if I don't." 2 generations later, still cutting off the ham. All right, now we need the 5th element of the model. Then we'll run some examples through it, okay? This gentleman right here. Come on. What's your name? Dan. All right, Dan, stand next to Troy. Where are you from? Tucson. Everybody from Tucson? Okay. Dan now is to be represented not by a square box, but by a rectangle. No arrows going from Dan. There is an arrow from Troy to Dan, by the way, because this whole model is going towards Dan. So write a rectangle now and label this part of the model results. Results. All right, Dan, I want you to come over and stand right in front of Kristen, facing Kristen. Now, I want you to write down a statement. There are about 5 statements that I want you to write down, and never forget, pray about this. I want you to really think about this. Here's the statement. First statement. If the results do not meet the needs, there is an incorrect principle on the belief window. So when Dan gets back to Kristen, if this is not meeting Kristen's needs, we've got an incorrect principle. Okay, Dan, come back here. Now let's run a couple of things through this model. Let's talk to you men for a moment. Suppose one of you men out there got it on your belief window that men are just a little more important to God than women. Okay? Now let's just think about this, guys. Somewhere in my growing up, I picked up that men are more valued than women. I don't know where I got that. Maybe it's because my soccer coach used to say, "If you don't play better, I'll make you wear a dress." Or maybe it's because my soccer coach said, "You're playing like little girls," or something like that, and men don't cry and stuff like that. So I got on my belief window, men are a little better than women. If that's true, then, what need is driving that, do you suppose? Maybe it's to feel important. There could be a consortium of them. If that's true, then, and I am now married, and my wife asks me to do the dishes, what will Troy do? He may respond by saying, "That's women's work." If Troy were to say that to his spouse, what has he just said to his spouse? "I'm better than you." Okay? Now, is the result of that behavior going to meet his need with his wife? Women, would it meet your need? Unequivocal no. So maybe that's an incorrect principle.